Today I'm reacting to Mark Wahlberg's updated watch collection. Mark buys a watch every day, so it's quite easy to make a series out of it. Basically, we could start a YouTube channel just about Mark Wahlberg's watch collection. And we'll have content for the next 16 years.
I think he saw the first video.
I know for a fact he has seen it, but I also know for a fact he doesn't give a shit. Before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel now, and if you want to buy or sell your watch, go to prideandpinion.com. This video is sponsored by Shopify, but more about that later. So let's get stuck in Mark Wahlberg's updated watch collection.
Hey, I'm Mark Wahlberg.
And I'm Kevin Hart.
And we're back with the Wired Complete interview.
No, it's the Wired Auto Complete interview.
It's actually quite funny because they kind of look the same height.
Sitting down.
We're sitting now.
Does Mark Wahlberg really wake up at 2 a.m.? No, he wakes up at 4. You don't wake up at 2.
Many times at 2.
Yeah,
if I go to bed at 6, I'm up at 2.
Yeah, that's because of gas.
That's so weird, you know. He is reversed, not even reversed day and night. He just goes to bed at 6 o'clock. But the fun just starts at 6 o'clock. What do you tell your bird? Come in, go to bed at 6 o'clock for me to quickly give you a ride. No, you don't go to bed at 6 o'clock.
That's dinner time?
That's dinner time.
Does Mark Wahlberg drink coffee?
I see you drinking coffee early, but I don't see you
Espresso.
drinking often. Yeah,
No,
espresso.
just started.
Yeah.
May I talk about the incredible watch he's wearing?
You may.
Oh, I may. That's very kind of you. I'm watching my language and I'm being a polite gentleman for once in my life. What an incredible watch Mark is wearing. He's wearing the rare green dial Rolex Day-Day, reference number 228206. The Arabic numeral Rolex Day-Day. And the Rolex reference number ends with a 6. And that means this watch is platinum. It's like really bloody rare.
Why is it rare?
To give you an idea, Rolex makes about 1 million watches each year. This has to be spread around the world. This specific dial is only produced for the Middle East. And the Middle East has about 5 or 6% of the world population. So it's really small. They need to understand that this dial only comes in specific colors, in specific models. Now that makes it even more rare. Rolex doesn't make any limited editions, and this dial is no exception. This is not a limited edition, but it is very limited produced because of the fact that the Middle East only has 5% of the world population. So yeah, he bought this watch specifically in the Middle East. There's approximately 4 in the world for sale today. This watch carries a significant premium in comparison to the normal platinum green dial day-date or even a blue dial day-date. This platinum Rolex day-date with a green dial, specifically with the Arabic numerals, carries a value between $200,000 and $250,000. And that is not a bad start for this money counter, son. Let her have it. Right, here's Mark Wahlberg wearing the Patek Philippe aquanaut, reference number 5968G. Right, bear with me. I got 2 aquanauts here. Last week we had this exact watch in stock, but at the moment I've only been able to find a 5167 in rose gold and in steel. It's nearly the same watch. It's not exactly the same watch, it's nearly the same watch. But I don't know, I just wanted to show you aquanauts. This is the standard aquanaut with a date only. So only a complication that it has is a date. Then we have the 5164, which I don't have here, which is an aquanaut with a travel time or a GMT function, which you can very easily see the home and away time. And this is a 5968, and this version was introduced in 2021. With a green strap and a green dial, and a blue strap and a blue dial. And here's the blue strap and the blue dial. If you're not colorblind, you could have seen that as well. The funny bit is the green version of this, so the one with the green strap, that strap alone went for like 10 grand. Like, I mean, people were paying 10 grand for that strap alone.
Why would you ever need a green strap though? Are you gonna put it on your blue dial?
No. It's weird. The 5968G currently carries a value between $130,000 and $150,000. Next watch Mark Wahlberg is wearing is the Patek Philippe 5905 Wears & Sons. We need to talk, right? We need to talk. Mark Wahlberg is kind of a little bit Irish, like everyone in America, right? Like, I never get this. You live in Ireland. Yeah, I am 11% Irish. How does that work? 11% Irish. All the Americans always say that they're Irish. No idea how. To be fair to Mark Wahlberg, I think his family is Irish and he grew in an Irish population in Boston somewhere. So he has a big connection with Ireland, etc. So green is probably his favorite color. And this watch was introduced on the 150th anniversary of Wears & Sons, the authorized dealer in the Republic of Ireland, in Dublin. Wears & Sons, big props to them. They're incredible. I've been in Wears & Sons many times. I always come across really friendly and passionate people. That's completely different here in Belfast because they're absolute dog shit, right? Fact.
Will you
This watch was introduced specifically to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Wears & Sons, and I think they produced about 25 of these pieces. Conor McGregor has one, Mark Wahlberg has one. When he picked up this watch and I saw a photo on Wears & Sons Instagram, I was literally heartbroken. I was like, he's in Dublin picking up this watch. That's like an hour away from me. We could have talked watches, you know what I mean. Next time you're in Dublin, Mark, we'll come to you. No worries. When this watch was introduced, I think it retailed at about 90,000 euros or 90,500. And because of the green color, it kind of went viral on social media. And when Conor had this watch, Mark had this watch, people started paying extreme premiums for this watch. And today there's one or two on the market. You're going to be paying at least $1 million to get your hands on one of those. And that is a bit stupid. A standard 5905 with a black dial and platinum, you could buy them for like 50, 60, maybe $70,000. There's also a green dial, nearly identical to this one, with a bracelet, which you can buy in and around $80,000. So paying $1 million for this watch, you really need to start calling a helpline, genuinely, because that's ludicrous. Mark owns like 1 million companies and stuff. Like he has a clothing brand, he has a burger joint, he has, what else?
Yeah, like some sort of protein powder or something.
Yeah, and water and a gym and whatever, mad stuff.
He used to sell sneakers back in the day.
Did he? Ooh, what a man. Do you reckon for one of his companies, municipal or something, he uses Shopify? Like, that would be unbelievable. Like, Shopify is the easiest all-in-one commerce platform in the world, period. Like, I started my businesses on Shopify. I mean, let's be honest, the only thing I know about in life is watches.
General knowledge, to be fair, just not great.
No, and computer skills are not really great either. That's why I absolutely love Shopify, because it's so easy to start your own shop, to start your own business. We just launched a new God tier drop last week with like mad socks and caps and all sorts of things and incredible shirts and hoodies, and all on the Shopify platform. Any business you want to launch, you can launch that on Shopify. From a first startup with God tier to a full-scale operational company like we have with Pride and Pinion. Shopify has some really interested in cool features. We've currently 22 people on our website. There's actually someone in Russia. That's mad. But the total sales were 37,000. You can also see which locations people have been. So people in London, Melbourne, Dublin, first-time customers, returning customers, and what they've bought. Absolutely incredible. To start your business with Shopify today, follow the first link in the description. Now, both of God tier and Pride and Pinion are both on Shopify. Like,
why would you use anything else?
Exactly. Rolex GMT Master 2. Yeah, full Meteorite dial. Pepsi. Reference number 126719 BLRO. Like, this was a shock when this was introduced. Genuinely, a shock. To my system, to my DNA, to everything that I stand for, I never expected this. When this watch was introduced in 2019, literally the whole watch world was like, what the actual love-hate type of response. Personally, as a collector, I absolutely loved it and thought it was incredibly unique. And next to that, I think it was a bit of a hint to the Rolex GMT reference number 6542, where there were only 2 or 3 ever produced with a white dial. Like, I mean, have you ever seen a white dial GMT?
Never.
A lot of people don't even know that that watch existed. Guess what I have? A video of that watch. The video here, you see the white dial GMT without a bezel, and the reason that it doesn't have a bezel is because we had to protect the bezel. The bezel is made out of bakelite, and it is extremely fragile. So to keep that on a watch is ludicrous. If it's fragile and it's rare, it means it's also really expensive. But to give you a bit of more insight about this exact watch and this exact dial, this is what we call the Gibeon Meteorite. And I've spoken about the Gibeon Meteorite several times on this channel. It's a meteorite that landed in Africa like 1 million years ago, like in Namibia. It's a really valuable stone. For years, Rolex has tried to buy pieces of that stone. But the last 10, 12 years, you're not allowed to touch that stone anymore. It's now national heritage. The cool thing, it's a product of nature. That means that not a single dial is identical. And we all know when these dials run out, they run out. It's quite cool and unique to have that watch. The current value of this watch sits between $65,000 and $75,000. Next watch, the Patek Philippe Grand Complication, reference number 5374-300P, the daddy of the minute repeaters. You have minute repeaters, and those are arguably the most complicated movements ever to create. And then you have cathedral minute repeaters. These are the daddies of the minute repeaters. This watch is so extremely complicated and so extremely beautiful, it's not. Oh, you see the dude next to him? The guy next to him is the guy that paid $6 million for a Tiffany 5711. That's him. Zacatak. On Instagram, Zacatak. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, this is one of the most beautiful watches ever created, period. When I retire of the watch world, that's the watch I want. 228 baguette diamond cut diamonds on his entire watch. 13 blue sapphires. That blue dial is absolutely outrageous and spectacular in any way, shape, or form. 42 millimeters in diameter. A full platinum case. Keep in mind, it's quite difficult to set stones in a metal as hard as platinum. a masterpiece in every way possible. A minute repeater is a complication that chimes the time. It's a really old-fashioned complication that you were able to find in pocket watches 200 years ago. 200 years ago, when you were in bed, you couldn't really switch on the light very easily because light switches didn't exist. And you wanted to see the time after you finished your side. You had to check the time to make sure you made it for dinner on time. So you needed something to tell you the time. And that's where minute repeaters came in. You're lying there in the dark, grab your pocket watch, switch on the lever, listen to it, and then you know the time. We can argue about the price all day, every day, but for sure this watch swaps hands for nothing less than between 1 and 1.5 million. That's the daddy. Whenever I'll be able to afford that watch, I'll retire forever. Yes! 5711 Tiffany! The limited edition 170 pieces. They say 170 pieces, but that's always a blatant lie. There's at least 4 more. There's at least 1 in the Patek Philippe archives, 1 in the Tiffany's archives, at least 1 in the CEO of Tiffany, and another 1 on the wrist of the CEO of Patek Philippe, 100%. This watch was introduced to celebrate the 170th anniversary of the partnership between Tiffany & Co. and Patek Philippe. Only the biggest superstars in the world own this watch. Even the biggest collectors of Tiffany or the biggest collectors of Patek don't have access to this. Last month, this 5711 Tiffany was sold for $3.2 million. That's bizarre. To be completely honest, there's nothing really special on this watch in general, but the significance of the Nautilus and the significance of Tiffany, yeah, that makes this watch extremely desirable. I genuinely don't think there is a bigger flex than this watch in the watch world, period. Look, I have the Tiger Rolex Daytona. That's no dog shit. I'm not gonna say much about this. It's a tacky watch. This is the 116598 TBR. I have the Tiger, as we call it in the collector's world. It's worth between $300,000 and $350,000. It's tacky as but Mark just buys everything. This watch was supposed to be the last ever 5711 until Cherry Stern with Patek Philippe over their customers and brought out a Tiffany & Co. version. This particular version is the full steel 5711 with the olive green dial and the factory baguette diamond set bezel. All factory. This watch came in several configurations, one of which Mark Wahlberg is wearing, the other I am wearing. This is the 5711-014, a full steel Nautilus with a green dial.
No diamonds though?
No diamonds though, but diamonds are gold best friend. This is the one he should be wearing. The value of the green dial 5711 $1,308, the exact version that Mark Wahlberg is wearing, sits between $850,000 and $900,000. The 5711-014, the watch that Nico Leonard is wearing, is worth between $400,000 and $500,000. This watch alone deserves a video, you know. This is a watch he doesn't wear in public, may I add. This is one of the most complicated watches Patek has ever produced, and they can only produce 1 or 2 of these watches each year because it's so complicated. This is the Sky Moon Tourbillon, the Celestial 6002R. Watch features the tourbillon, one of the most important complications in the world. A celestial, you can literally see the entire sky on the case back. I'm not even joking. Next to that, it features a full perpetual calendar, and it features a minute repeater. Every bit of complication all fit in this mad rose gold case. It's an insane watch, but also carries an insane value. I mean, I wouldn't say there's a massive demand on this watch, but I will say that this watch retails at a minimum of $1.5 million US. You have to be invited to buy this watch. It takes several watchmakers, several months to actually build this watch. It's insane. I would say that this watch on the open market today is worth at least $8 million. Don't get me wrong, Mark never paid $8 million for that watch. The watch retails, I think, at $1.5 million. That's still massively impressive, money-wise. What a bizarre watch collection. I do miss a bit of vintage. I miss a little bit of diversity. I don't see AEP, I don't see Vacheron. But other than that, I mean, he has the most sought-after watches in the world ever, with the biggest flex watches you'll ever see in your life. Thank you so much, Shopify, for sponsoring this video. And if you want to start your business, make sure you click on the first link in the description now.